What's up, guys? Welcome to episode 6 of the podcast. Today we have Gunnar Reynolds, someone who really has been through a lot and always has a smile on his face, can light up a room. He's always got a good attitude, and we're going to kind of talk through that a little bit more and how sometimes you can get down in life and, you know, how to pull yourself back up, or how today's generation really doesn't have the tools that we had growing up. So, yeah, stay tuned for a special guest at the end as well, someone you guys might be familiar with. And please let me know how you guys like these episodes in the comments. We read through them and listen to them as much as we can. So please let me know and enjoy. Gunnar, thanks for coming, man.
Man, thank you for having me, Matty. It's good. It's been a long time since I've seen you.
Yeah.
Do you I didn't get to go to the alumni game. Did you end up heading out there?
Yeah. So so me and Gunnar went to York together. He's another York legend. But I'm hoping these lights don't fall. Yeah, so just so you guys know, watching this, we're on the rooftop in, I'm not going to give the location, an undisclosed location, and we got a nice little setup here. But there are a little bit of technical difficulties with the wind that we might not have planned for.
And the planes, if you hear some helicopters whirring by, don't get worried.
Police
they ain't after
cars,
us.
Helicopters, they're not after us. We're going to get through it, though. But, so we went to York together. He was 2 years older than me, and he was a really good older teammate to have, you know, someone that you could just go to when you're having any sort of trouble. He was easy to relate to, you know. He's not like the guy that's only hitting the books on the weekends, you know. He's a good guy to go to.
You could say that.
Yeah. But anyways, yeah, I did go to the alumni game though.
Okay.
Yeah, it was interesting to go back there, you know. It's not really the same as when we went there, but it's in good ways and in bad ways, you know. It's just a little bit different. How a team should be. It shouldn't be the same,
Absolutely.
you know, every time.
Absolutely.
But it definitely was different. It was interesting going back there though.
Right.
But
too many memories there, man.
Oh, we've had some great times in York for sure.
Yeah. It's second home.
Yeah.
Second home for me for sure.
Yeah. So Gunnar, you're living in OC right now.
Yep.
Ocean City, Maryland.
Yep.
Year round, that's got to be an interesting place to live.
It's very interesting, man. Once all the tourists leave after the summer, it's actually not what anyone would expect it to be.
Yeah.
It's very dead, very dry. You know, and in a lot of ways, when you are living there, it's a good thing, because when you get used to that summer traffic, man, when it's wintertime, you can zip around anywhere.
Oh, I bet.
You know, you don't have to worry about, you know, leaving an hour early to get a mile.
True.
So yeah, man, it's a very interesting place. I love it right now. I didn't like it there for a while. I'm starting to like it. You know, my boss John and my manager Sam have really kind of welcomed me into a more of a home-like feeling, I would say, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I am digging it there right now.
Yeah.
I'm definitely not what they would call a local down there. I try to stay out of the way. Right now, I'm definitely trying to focus a little bit more on me instead of, you know, the bar scene and, you know, what I essentially used to do.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think there's something to be said about that. You can kind of, if you don't have a plan for yourself, you can just get lost going out to the bars every weekend. And once you're in that cycle of that's all you're doing, that's very easy to get lost in.
1,000%, man, especially down there.
Oh, I bet.
Especially down there. I mean, you have an unlimited amount of variety of bars you could go to, which, you know, is a great thing when friends come down, etc. But, you know, when you're making that your routine, it gets dark, it can get scary. Luckily, I never fell victim to that. I've always kind of held myself to, I would never say I'm better than anyone, but I will always hold myself to a standard of, you know, some kind of stature that I will not go down that route, and I will never have to pull myself out of that hole.
Yeah, I mean, it's a mature way to look at it, and it's something that you actually have to make a conscious decision to do. Like I said, it's just easy to fall down that route, you know?
1,000%.
It's fun. If you're chasing fun, and that's the most fun thing to do, it's hard to, you know, be like, you know what, in the long term, this is not good for me.
Right.
Know?
Yeah, I look at it like a couple different ways, man. I obviously, you know, as you very well know, had my fun in college. I had my fun in high school and everything now, and you know, I've gotten all the great experiences out of the way with. That being said, I'm not going to stop having fun.
Right.
But at what point do you stop and say, okay, I got to lock in.
Yeah.
You know, I got to focus on me right now. I got to focus on my health. You know, we can start touching into that, but you know, I got to focus on my health, and I want to get better every day. You know, there's a new skill set that I want to learn. It's like a goal of mine right now is I want to get better every day. Learn a new skill, and what are your wins for the day? You
I
know?
like that a lot.
You got to name. You know, I talk with my best friend back home, Bailey. A lot of times when we're texting, it's like, man, what are your 3 wins for today?
I like it.
And it can be something as simple as I woke up at 6 o'clock, took the trash out this morning, got up early, you know, made my eggs, etc. You know, stuff like that. You need to pat yourself on the back because that, you know, that can tap in with your confidence, especially when you move away from home.
Yeah.
Right. You need that confidence. You need those pats on your back. You got to talk to yourself, hype yourself up, by keeping that ego down at the same time.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we can get into the health part. Well, I think maybe, I guess before we do that, do you think it's important for people to kind of move away from home sometimes and branch out? Or do you think there's other things more important than that? Because when you're out on your own, it's like, you know,
you don't have dad to call.
Right.
You know, you don't have dad to call. You don't have mom to call.
It's kind of like burning your boats, and you're like, I'm going to survive and thrive, or I'm going to sink.
I think it's very crucial to move away from home because, especially for someone like me and for someone like you that was a big family man, love my family to death. Best thing in the world. That best thing about my life for sure is my family.
Yep, always.
So, you know, I had it, you know, pretty decent growing up, you know. I would never say we were rich. I would never say we were wealthy. But my dad worked his ass off every single day to put food on the table, you know, give us what we desired. And I think, you know, I grew accustomed to that. So when I moved away to college for the first time, it was hard. You know, you start living with your boys and everything, and it starts, you know, everybody has a trait, essentially. Everyone has a role, you know, like people bring stuff to the table that you didn't know, and then you meet them, you live with them for a little bit. Now, you know, you're picking up pieces on how to live by yourself one by one.
Yeah.
And you're going through those experiences, and some things nobody knows how to do other than your parents, and you just have to deal with them. So I do think it's crucial to move away from home. I would never, you know, come right out and say, I'm so happy I moved away from home. I love home.
Right.
But you know, you got to be a man at some point. You got to put on your big boy pants and say, you know, I gotta be able to figure this out on my own without giving dad a phone call.
Oh yeah.
You
Well, I think there's something to be said. There's some people that when they move, I've seen my friends that when they move away sometimes, they develop this just independency and like a different kind of persona and confidence about themselves.
1,000%.
And so, not everyone might be like that. I just think it's interesting. Like Ocean City is no longer, it's not like, you're not, I mean, York from your childhood home was, I guess it's not that much of a difference though.
It's about 2 hours. Ocean City, it's about 1 hour and 40
Yeah,
away
so
from
it's
York,
pretty much the same thing.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I just thought that was interesting to talk about.
It's definitely an interesting topic to talk about.
Yeah. But I was gonna say about health. So I mean, catching up with you, like, what's recently, like, you're looking great. I mean, since Ocean City, were you doing anything different from then? I saw you when was the tournament? In August?
August.
Yeah. So
I had just got done my hamstring injury in August, so I started to pick back up working out and everything. I actually got in touch with a trainer from my hometown, and he's got me right. I'm 2 eggs in the morning,
nice,
97% lean ground beef for
how,
lunch.
All right.
And then with white rice, and then
nice.
I'm dried chicken and sweet potatoes for dinner.
Okay.
With Greek yogurt.
Okay.
And some granola. So yeah, man, it's going. I've loved it. I'm down 12 pounds. I feel great. It's the best I've ever felt. I have always been, for those of the viewers that don't know me, I've always been kind of like a fast food guy. Like, I don't want to waste time. I'm always on the go.
Yeah.
I'm always doing something, So I'm like, all right, I'll stop at McDonald's, get a McChicken and large fry. This is only, 715 calories. And then, you get to a point where it's like, okay, I'm not working out as actively anymore. I am not a college athlete. I'm not consistently burning calories throughout the day. Now, I still want to get better with my skill sets, but I still need to find time to work out. Now you limit yourself to an hour compared to when we were at York, we're pushing 4 or 5 hours a day.
Oh, yeah.
Burning calories, doing something, whether it's basketball in the gym, hitting the field, weight room, whatever it may be. So, so now it's like, I can't do the 750 calories in one meal right now. I can't do it.
Right.
I got to, limit myself, limit the portions. I got to scale, all that good stuff. Shout out to my roommate, Erin. She helps me make my stuff,
nice.
throughout the week, which is nice. Yeah, she's
Erin's a girl?
Erin's a girl, yes.
So,
yeah,
she's your girlfriend, or is it
No. She's like my best friend up in Ocean City, which is awesome. Yeah, she's my roommate. We live together. And she's like super fit and like has always cared about her body and everything that.
Never mind. Nothing.
Yeah, she's like super fit, super into health and stuff like that. So she knows all about it, and for whatever reason, I never really like listened to her. She's like a sister, you know what I mean? You like push her off the side, whatever, Aaron, whatever. And then I'm like telling her all this stuff, what my trainer wants me to do, and she's like, "Yeah, that's exactly what I do." And I'm like, "Oh, well, damn." I wish I would have listened.
Sometimes you need that authority figure to tell you, not a peer.
Right.
I found that the case. Talking about health, I mean, people don't know who've been watching this. I haven't talked about it yet, but I am so obsessed with health, and I really have always been. Ever since high school, I got really obsessed with it, but I was so misinformed that what I thought was healthy back then, I wouldn't even touch now.
Exactly.
Because we've been lied to so much. I mean, this is like a deep topic to get into, but it's just true. I mean, everything that you've learned from every authority figure that you grew up with has maybe not maliciously done it because they might not know, but has lied to you, maybe because they heard that lie from someone else.
1,000%.
But about basically every single food that you've ever grown up thinking is unhealthy or healthy, it's all been a lie. And once I figured that out, it blew my mind. I figured that out once I graduated from York. I took like a 2-week hiatus of just not working out and eating whatever I wanted because I'm like, I'll probably never get to do this again in my life. Let me just try it. I felt terrible. I looked terrible. My back got so beaten up. I have an autoimmune disorder, ankylosing spondylitis, that tightens my back up. So my back got tightened up. I felt like crap. And I said, you know what? I'm going to really deep dive into this. And I figured out everything that I've been taught was all a lie.
Oh, yeah.
And it was mind-blowing. So then I committed for 2 weeks to try full carnivore. Okay. I've never felt better than that.
Right.
So good. And then I started adding things back. And now, where I'm at right now, and this is a thing, to be someone who puts like any emphasis on research, you need to be able to adapt. So a study could come out next week, and if it has conclusive evidence that proves me wrong, I'll actually try it out for myself.
1,000%.
And if it is legit, then I'll change my mind. But as of now, my thought is, for me, specifically my situation, eating meat, fruit, and honey,
right,
and eggs,
yep,
animal products, and fruit, no vegetables, no grains, no other carbs. That is the perfect diet for me.
Right.
Not for everyone.
Exactly. It all depends.
But for me.
Mm-hmm.
And there's other things that are better than other things. So like rice, I think white rice is good. I think it's better than brown rice.
Yep.
I think any ultra processed food is basically just poison for your body.
Right.
Anything that has more than 5 ingredients, and if 3 of them you don't know what they are, or if a couple of them are dyes or seed oils, any sort of vegetable oil, don't even get me started with that because that's a whole hole. Yeah. But seed oils are horrible. But anyways, I kind of went off on a tangent there.
Yeah,
but yeah, and it aggravates me because we just have never been told this.
Yeah.
We were always told the food pyramid, eat carbs, then eat vegetables, then meat, and then whatever. I don't even know what it was. It was horrible.
Right.
And guess what? That was made by people who had the interest to make us consume those carbs.
Exactly. And that's that goes right off your point of like saying to adapt, right, with times. And man, this can go for anything in business, especially in marketing. Like as a group collectively, we are all still learning. there's still research being done about literally anything and everything.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy. So you do have to be, very, I wouldn't say very picky about, who you choose to believe, but you have to rely on data and results, right? Proven results, right?
Yeah.
And at the same time, you also have to keep in mind everyone is different.
Yeah.
Everyone is different.
Yeah. So there's, I don't want to stay on this topic for too long, but there's this guy, Nick Norwitz. He graduated from, I want to say it was Dartmouth. I don't remember, but he graduated from there as a valedictorian, and now he's getting his doctorate at Harvard. Really well-studied guy.
Right.
He runs studies that are published, like scientific paper, research paper studies.
Okay.
Really, really bright guy. And he does these experiments on himself where he had 720 eggs in a month, and he found his cholesterol actually decreased from eating that, which is backwards, right?
Right.
But so he did that, and he did one with Oreos, where he ate a lot of Oreos, and it decreased his cholesterol. He did one with bacon, and it decreased his cholesterol. But his findings were that these studies that show that cholesterol, specifically cholesterol in food, saturated fats, led to LDL increase, which is quote-unquote bad cholesterol, which isn't even bad cholesterol, were not scientific. They're not running any sort of experiment. They're just looking at data, and they're taking these populations that are not realistic to specific people. Okay. So what he's finding right now, and what he thinks is going to change the whole history of science forever, is called N=1 experiments. Okay. So an N=1 experiment is taking one subject. So let's take you. Someone with your exact body fat, your exact genetics, not exact, but as close to as you can get, your close genetics, body fat, weight, diet and exercise. So someone doing exactly what you're doing. Yeah. Let's run an experiment on them and see how their body reacts. That's going to be more beneficial for you than an experiment with 100 people that are all obese, all different ages, all completely different. It's not even going to be this close to the same, because he's finding cholesterol will actually increase in individuals that are obese, but decrease in individuals that are super low body fat. Yeah, which is fascinating, but it just makes so much sense.
Makes so much sense. I think that's a fantastic idea, and I think it's kind of dumb of us all for not thinking of that.
Well, I mean, he's also the guy was a valedictorian.
Yeah, that's true.
This guy's a super brilliant guy.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, but he's got an autoimmune disorder, and he changed his life. He's like, I went into remission for my autoimmune. Actually, this is something I really want to get out there that I'm very surprised I haven't. But anyone that's watching that has any sort of autoimmune condition at all, if you have not thought about your diet, you need to, because you can legit change your life forever. There are millions and millions of cases of people changing their diet and completely going into remission with their autoimmune condition, whether it's psoriasis or something that messes up your muscles or something that messes up your joints, any kind of autoimmune. Look at your diet, and in my opinion, I think you start with carnivore, full carnivore, do all your research. There's a lot of great doctors on YouTube that'll tell you about this. Sean Baker's a good one. Paul Saladino's a good one. Nick Norwitz is a great one too. Look at those guys and kind of follow what they're doing, and then start adding stuff back and see how you react. See if the rashes come back, or see if your joints get inflamed, People will get off of their medicine from just diet alone, which is crazy. But I think that's a super, super important message that is not being magnified enough. Right. But that's a long tangent. I'm gonna have a whole separate podcast about this, actually, with one of my boys who is super, super into diet and exercise and everything. Right. And I'm going to come with some ammunition, let's just say, and we're going to talk about that. But no, I think that's great, because you look great. You said you're feeling great.
Feeling the best I've ever. I'm usually it sucks waking up out of bed every single morning. Now it's kind of like kind of looking forward to it. I'm up earlier. I'm feeling way better. It's not like I feel like crap throughout the day. It really helps me with my stomach, bloating, etc.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, I'm super stoked about it. About like a month in, down 12 pounds. Feel great. It's the strongest I've ever been. Threw up 245 on bench.
Did you?
It's
245?
That's like the most that I've.
And you're weighing like not even that. I mean, I guess if your weight's probably.
I'm at 188 right now.
Okay. Yeah. That's still very impressive, though.
Yeah, it took me a while to get it there. I like worked on it like every single day, but yeah, it took me a while to get there. And I mean, to a majority of people, that's literally nothing. But you know, if you would have seen me in college, you know, I was a 180. I always weighed around 185, 190, 195. And, you know, I would always, you know, when you're in that weight room test and you got those boys smacking you on your legs, smacking you on your back, giving you them 5 stars, you know, you get that extra courage. You get that extra strength to throw up 3 more. But, you know, like if it was, you know, just me and RK in the gym, you know, I'm putting up 185 for probably 4 times.
Yeah.
But everybody's around, coach is staring me dead in my face, looking at me like, did you work out over the summer? I'm going to get up a couple extra, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was always at the 8 mark, and that was fantastic because, you know, I came in and, you know, usually when I first got there, it was mile tests and lift tests were September 4th. But when you got there, it got pushed back to like September 15th.
Yeah.
So we would get there early, and I would be there like August 22nd, August 23rd, and I'd be in that weight room trying to get my bench up for the bench tests, for, you know, every single day, you know, every single day. But yeah, man, so I'm feeling great, you know, and it's been good, man. Life is looking up, that's for sure. And
Nice.
I assume it is for you as well because the Commanders are finally in the win column.
I'll tell you what, man.
And yeah, what about that fan, dude?
Oh,
Did you see that?
Yeah. That was crazy. Oh my God. So that kid actually grew up around here.
So I was gonna say that Hoffy, who I coach with, like coached him as a kid. You know, obviously, Hoffy's coached everybody from around here. So.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, we can talk about that. So the Ravens fan that was going around,
a bunch of dropping kids.
Who knows how many guys he dropped?
They said it was 2.
We saw on video 2. So.
Oh, well, I'm saying there was 2 separate occasions that night.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I saw the Cobbs came out with a statement yesterday.
Oh, I didn't know that.
He got in 2 fights. It wasn't just the one on video.
You could kind of tell.
Yeah.
But how about this? What a crazy play. After doing that, you're on video. What a crazy play to throw up your arm and say, what do you say?
I'm going to jail.
I don't lose. What a crazy
That's what he should have
said.
said.
What would you have said? I mean,
I
in
would
that
have said,
situation.
I'm going to jail. Just don't tell my dad. Because I'm more scared of him than I am of the cops.
Crazy play, though, to throw your arm up and say, I don't lose. I mean, I could have think 25 things that would have been better to say.
Yeah.
That was like... When I saw that, I immediately put my head in my my hand, and I'm like, this guy's an idiot.
Typical Ravens fan, man. I swear. All of them can.
Yeah, but the thing about that was, when I first saw it, I really did. When I see these fights that are like unprovoked, where it's like you feel bad for like. Because the other person might be smaller or not defending themselves or something.
You could tell they didn't have much experience yet.
Yeah, and or maybe they were drunk, like, whatever. I get it. But, like, I just feel bad for, like, the victims. And I'm like, I don't know. Like, what can you do?
At the same time, how can you let that happen now? He walked right up on you.
I think he was probably drinking a lot, maybe.
The kid that punched?
No, the kid that didn't. The kid got punched.
Kid that got punched.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, if he's blacked out, can't see straight. I understand.
I
don't know
that.
the situation, to be honest. Like, I mean, I saw it. I saw everything that happened, but, like, you don't know what position he was in. He could have just gotten broken up with or something. He looked a little out of it, to me.
He looked absolutely hammered, as we would say. But he looked wasted. But here's the thing, though, and what I think is important. If you need to have a plan for that sort of situation. God forbid, that probably will never happen to you in your life. Yeah. And hopefully you're not too drunk to not really know what's going on. But if someone's coming to punch you, you need to have some sort of plan. Mm-hmm. And I think we kind of need to talk about that. And this is something that's like pretty easy to guess. if someone is going to punch you, they're going to throw an overhand right if they're a righty. They're going to. So an overhand right, I'm just going to stand up and show. So an overhand right is basically, if they're balling their fist, the punch I'm going to throw at you is an overhand right. I'm not going to sit there and jab you and then throw a cross. I'm throwing an overhand right. So if you're going to get hit with an overhand right and you're going to get punched, first thing, you need to do this. You need to escalate the situation. So if you're coming at me, I say, whoa. By doing this, not only am I creating distance between me and you, but I'm also getting myself in a stance in case you try to do anything. Now, that guy started with a kick, so he threw a right kick. If you're throwing a right kick, I mean, the technical way to defend that would be to get out of the way like that, or like that, or put your leg up. But obviously, he's not going to be doing all that. Start out with your hands. This will create distance. It'll make the guy maybe think, all right, maybe I won't throw a punch. Now, once he throws that kick, you get into a stance. If he's throwing that overhand right, you just duck under it. And if you duck under it, he's not going to hit you. He kind of threw a straight a little bit, so maybe slip out of the way. But just ducking will save you so much. Because that's going to happen.
It's just your reactions, your senses, man. That's why, me and my dad are not the biggest drinkers in the world, because we have I don't know, man, we to be honest, we just don't like the taste. Obviously, I had some
of any alcohol.
I mean, we do, but like we would rather have a Coke, man. That's just who me and my dad are.
I know Gunnar likes his Cokes.
I don't anymore as much, but unfortunately, guilty pleasure, right? Well, we would rather have a Coke, but we were made like that because we like to have our senses like kind of tuned in at all times. I like to be that because I'm watching everything that's going on. I can be the life of the party. God knows.
Oh, I know.
God knows that.
I know this guy. This guy might have an obsession with being the life of the party sometimes,
but you got to kind of be dialed in, have your senses, just be aware, and man, your reaction time's got to be ready.
It's got to be.
It's got to be because man, something like that can happen. The dude suffered a concussion. Now you're out of work. What if you're commission based? What if you don't have benefits?
Well, what if you're drinking too much and you do get slumped and you
get
having brain damage? And I think the victim is okay. And if I really I'm thinking about you out there.
Suffer memory loss.
Yeah, I hope everything's okay. And obviously, it's easy to sit here on a couch and just say, "Oh, we would have done this."
I'm such a badass, dude. It's insane.
No, I know, but I do think it's important to have a plan.
1,000%.
And basic self-defense, everyone should know. And I'm not saying this guy probably does. This guy might be a trained MMA fighter. I have no idea. But for everyone else watching the video and thinking, "Man, well, what am I gonna do?" Well, I think what I said is a good strategy. Hands out. De-escalate the situation. Say, no. As he's coming at you, create distance, and then duck. Once you duck, that overhand right, that's not going to hit you.
Always be the adult first for, criminal sake, I would say.
Oh, yeah.
Always try to be the adult first, especially if you see somebody in the background's got their iPhone holding up. You try to de-escalate the situation first.
What was the guy saying? We got a straggler. We got a straggler.
I don't know. That was crazy. I was really shocked by that, but then they came out and said he had a substance abuse issue. He's on cocaine.
Well, also
everything. I'm
clearly
like, well, no shit.
Clearly on cocaine. Unless you're just built like that. Clearly on cocaine. Clearly has done something similar in the past. Throwing your arm up and saying, "I don't lose." What a D-bag. You can't be more of a D-bag. Man, I'm not gonna say it. I'll just say, imagine organizing a fight and I get to fight that guy though. He's got hands. I could get knocked out. But I think that'd be cool. I'll wear a Redskins jersey. He wears a Ravens.
Exactly. We could set that up in an event and
that'd be wild.
Set up a pay-per-view.
I would probably weigh 50 pounds lighter. He's probably almost a full foot taller. And I'd be a big underdog, but it'd be interesting.
You be the man of the people, though.
Hey,
that's what's all.
Sometimes that's more important than anything.
Exactly.
You remember that show, Bully Beatdown? Do you ever remember that show?
No.
All right, so it was a show where they would take UFC. It was a UFC fighter who ran the show. I forget what his name is. But basically, he would take MMA fighters, up-and-coming MMA professional fighters that were trying to make it to the UFC maybe or something, and he'd match them up with kids who said they're getting bullied with their bully. And so if the bully wins, it's a 2-round fight. If the bully ends up surviving 2 rounds, all he has to do is survive. If he ends up surviving, then he gets $10,000. And if he ends up every minute that he doesn't, or the guys he's bullying basically get 5,000 if he doesn't survive.
Okay.
Right. And so the first round's 5,000, the second round's 5,000.
Okay.
But basically they would take this guy who's a bully, and he'd be like, "Oh, when I fight, I see red," and he's that kind of guy. He's like, I can pick on whoever I want. And meanwhile, he's like a 30-year-old bullying like 30-year-olds. Like, I didn't even know that was still a thing. But
it's like the rough and rowdy, the stuff you see for Barstool,
right? Like that kind of thing. But basically, it was so cool. They take this super cocky, this guy. Oh my God, this is hilarious. This guy weighed like 240 or something, and he's a big guy, just strong, muscular guy. And he goes on Bully Beatdown, and he's like, "I can take on anyone. I see red when I fight. You don't know about that." And guess who he gets? A young Daniel Cormier.
Oh, no way.
And Daniel Cormier is playing with this guy. Little do you know, DC is about to go into the UFC and become an absolute legend.
Absolute legend.
And so he gets absolutely destroyed by Cormier, and the bully's victims end up getting $10,000.
That's awesome.
I think it's a great show. It really should come back. But
do we bring bullying back 2025?
Bullying?
Man?
I was saying Bully Beatdown, but I think
Bully Beatdown. Yeah, but I'm talking about
actual bullying.
No. To be honest, I think bullying has always kind of been a little bit of a stereotype per se. I mean, the stuff they show you, you go through, what are those classes? What's the class that they do for marijuana in school? It's like, God, what is that?
I know what you're saying.
It's like DAAD or something.
Something.
God, yeah, something like
health ed or something.
Right.
Whatever.
I forget the name of it.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, man, like this world is low key going soft, man.
Oh, it's
1,000%.
So soft. So soft.
The people that speak out about stuff that no one really cares about, and like they're making problems out of nothing. I'm a 1,000% for going back to bullying.
No, I think so too. Well, I think this. You can tell people who have never been checked before.
Exactly. That's kind of what I'm getting at. I'm not saying pick on the poorless or
no.
Or the hopeless.
But if there's some kids speaking out, I mean, even like me, if I'm speaking out and someone thinks, "Hey, man, look, you're really like." Check
it's
me.
just a check, right?
Dude,
exactly,
I need a check. Yeah. Everyone needs a check.
Or roast them in the comment section,
right? Dude, I would love that. I actually do.
That's what I mean. Honestly, the social media stuff, I see it all the time. These people think they're invincible, and they are speaking out about problems that, to be honest, they are creating the problems themselves, and then they gain this following. And I mean, I'm sure we can all kind of guess what I'm getting at here, but like. Right. I'm just saying, man, like...
it's the victim mentality.
Right, the victim mentality. That you couldn't put that in a better way. The victim mentality, create problems out of nothing, and they're actually not the victims at all.
Right, no, they're not.
Yeah.
This is a great thought. So, when I do this maybe once a week. I try to do it more. Once to 5 times a week, whenever I can. But I'll go on like a long run or something, and I'll go up to the park, and just look at water. Like when I look at water, like my mind starts running, whatever. And I'll just take out my phone and start writing. And I have notes that say things that I've learned from sitting and thinking. And I have just a bunch of, it's filled with
That's
stuff.
awesome.
And I want to write a book about it, honestly, because I've got some crazy thoughts. But something I've learned is there are people that are obsessed with bad news.
Oh, yes. They look forward to it.
Do you know those people?
I know those people.
So,
I know some of those people.
And here's a good example for those of you guys watching that are like, all right, what do you really mean? You know those friends that will text you and their name comes up and you don't look at it, but you're like, it's probably going to be bad news. It's probably going to be like, hey, man, this happened. Or like, this happened. Or did you see that?
They'll say, guess what?
Yeah. And then you have other friends who text you and you see their name pop up and you immediately know it's not going to be bad news. And if it is bad news, they're going to be like, they're reluctant to tell you. They don't want to tell you.
Exactly. Yeah.
They don't want to. There's friends that want that feeling. They want you to. They're trying to shake you.
Yes.
They're trying to somehow rile you up, and I think it's an attitude thing. And I've been thinking a lot about attitude, reading a lot about attitude, and like just trying to get to the bottom of it. I think attitude is like super, super important in just every single aspect of life. Attitude is like the number one thing. I think.
1,000%. I mean, we could talk about this for days, but attitude is everything, man. Like it's mind over matter, you know. That's the way you got to look at it, and it's shouldn't always be why me. You know, why me? Those are the victims. You know, these are the people that look.
And that's what we were just
look
talking
forward
about.
to. Yeah. Those are, you know, the why me's. They're the toxins of the world, man. They really are, and you know, they can be changed though. That's the thing. Yep. I've obviously gone through a lot of depression and mental health. Yeah. But it's right here. It's conversations with yourself, with your mind, and if you have a good attitude, you got to hang around the right people. You got to listen to the right people for one. You know, scrolling on TikTok and everything, you know, it's scientifically provenly bad for you. Yep. If you're going to be listening to TikToks and scrolling and stuff, as amusing as it might be, listen to somebody that's going to make you better, or that's going to change your attitude, or that might, you know, leave something on you. Yep. So I'm the type of person that goes through phases, man. I go through crazy phases, like, and it's crazy because I'll go through like for movies, for example, TV shows, whatever TV show I'm watching at the time, that's like the kind of attitude I have towards life. Okay. Yeah. So like, interesting. It's cool because it's not cool. It's not like I'm a changed person, but it's like, you know, I'm in this groove right now. Like when I was watching Peaky Blinders, my confidence was through the roof.
Yeah. You thought you were Tommy Shelby. You were walking around. And when he was watching it too, I'm not even kidding, he used to do his walk and stuff. And I think you started smoking cigarettes and wearing that goofy hat too.
Well, that's one thing. I've never put my mouth on a cigarette.
I'm just kidding. No, but
a cigar maybe once or twice in college. Yeah. You know, when Jaden would break them out, Ian Callahan would break them out. But
good guy.
No, good guy.
Great guys.
Yeah, but attitude, man, it's everything, and it's something that, you know, my dad has harped on me as a kid. And I think, you know, we can talk about this a little bit, is you know, how growing up with your dad as a coach and as a mentor has changed your life. My dad was extremely hard growing up. Mm-hmm. He's my bestest friend in the entire world right now. I mean, always has been. Love him to death, but growing up, he was very hard on me. Yeah. And I wouldn't have traded that for the world. Looking at how I see kids now, I coach high school kids. Seeing the kids that I coach now, we're in a completely different era, man. We are.
Oh, yeah.
The iPad babies have arose.
Yeah.
And they care about all this other stuff, you know. My dad never gave a shit about the other things, where another kid was committed to go play at college or anything like that. My dad asked for the best out of you for 2 hours a day. Yep. For 2 hours a day, that's what he asked of me. And, you know, I didn't, you know, always give it to him. I tried, but, you know, I wouldn't have had it any other way growing up with a hard dad, him being my coach. And, man, like, my dad was a legend at Northeast High School, like where I went. Yeah. And you know, I had everyone kind of had huge expectations for me when I got to high school. And man, something just happened with me. I grew up in Cecil County, Maryland. For those of you that don't know, I grew up, you know, in a very small pond, you know, so I was a big fish in a small pond growing up, especially in football, basketball, and baseball. So everyone had all these expectations for me because I'm my dad's son. You're Bobby Reynolds' son. Bobby Reynolds won a handful of state championships at Northeast, something Northeast hasn't done in forever. First wrestling state champion in Cecil County. So I get to high school, and man, my dad wasn't my coach anymore. He didn't coach high school football when I got to high school, and I'm more scared of my dad than anything in my entire life. Cops. Anything. My dad scares the living shit out of me, man. Literally scares the living shit out of me. Yeah. And when I didn't have him to, you know, respect, and, you know, somebody else is giving me directions right now, it was almost like I grew content, like, being, decent at Northeast, and, I completely flopped. And, all you want to do as a kid is hear, your dad say, I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
It's a huge thing. And, I don't want to get emotional here or anything, but it's a huge thing. And I'm happy that back then my dad never told me that, because when I got to college, I got to rebrand myself. And, I really got to be myself and really dial in on the fact, I'm better than this at, most people. So I'm going to go out here and I'm going to make my dad proud.
Yeah.
I'm going to score goals and everything. And, once dad got into the backstory on my dad, we didn't talk for a little while when I chose to play lacrosse instead of baseball in high school and in college. So, once my dad finally started to grow to like lacrosse, man, he was, very proud of me, and he was very clear about that. And he would say things. We joke about how hard he was, growing up. But I wouldn't, seeing how the world is today, I wouldn't have had it any other way, man. I love that man to death for the way that he was hard on me, and publicly, dude. Like, everyone knew me growing up.
Yeah.
But I had the scary dad, like, you don't mess with Bobby. And if, he made me ornery as cat shit is what he did. Because, you know how strict dads can do that? He made me ornery as cat shit. He did.
Yeah.
Because he is also one of the funniest people I know.
Yeah.
So he made me ornery, and, I would do things that were really funny, class clown, all that good stuff. But yeah, man, I think it's an interesting topic on, how when you transform from your dad being your mentor and everything, then you go off being on your own, and then you have, a new college coach like Coach Childs. What's your experience with, like, with your dad being your coach growing up and everything like that?
Yeah. Honestly, I don't really think about it too much. I think he was a great guy, great coach, great dad. He always made sure to say he was proud of me.
Right.
Always took the time to tell me how, he was like my number one fan.
Right.
But he's also when I was growing up, he wanted a lot out of me, which I never thought was too much, honestly, like, at all.
Right.
That never even came through my head ever. And that's how I want to be with my kid too. I want to make sure that he's, there's a balance. You don't want to be your kid's best friend.
Yeah.
When you're growing up, you want to make sure your kid has a certain level of respect for you.
Yep.
And you pass these values down that they treat other people that are peers to. So basically, my dad always taught me to treat his peers with respect no matter what. Mm-hmm. So you could be someone I don't even know. I'm going to shake your hand. I'm going to look you in the eye.
Yep.
And I'm making sure I'm giving you the respect that you deserve.
Exactly.
And that's a very big thing that my dad taught me. And just growing up with him as a coach, though, was awesome. But it's not something, I guess it's something I took for granted, or maybe something I didn't really think about too much. But that was just normal for me, having a dad as a coach,
Right.
And I hope I can do the same for my kids. I will. I just love coaching. I love teaching. And the same kind of thing, I think it takes one person at a time, like we were saying about how the world's just kind of going a little bit soft.
Yeah.
With our kids that we raise, like, make sure, it's a lesson you teach them. Look, Gunnar, like, here's Gunnar and my son, I'm talking to him.
Right.
This is Gunnar. Make sure you shake him in the hand when he walks in.
Yep.
Make sure you introduce yourself, and make sure you look him in the eye. And you just, act a little mature, and that's going to teach them so much,
Two basic skill sets that this world has lost today, man. That's a great point.
Yeah.
People have lost the skill of talking.
They have.
My dad made sure that, my dad runs, he's a trucker.
Yeah.
He has to have clientele. He has to know how to be able to talk to people,
Right.
He's not a salesman,
right.
But he has to know how to talk to clients, keep them happy, etc.
Yeah.
So, it's crazy because, sometimes, with my high school kids, the phones have, like, ruined, as much as I make my living off of a cell phone now, but the phones, the negative impact that it's had on the kids today.
Oh
They don't
my
know how
God.
to talk. I
They're
mean,
bad communicators.
we can even like go the extra step and say, look at how the York parties have transformed. It used to be no phones in sight.
Make York parties great again. Let's make sure we all put our phones
Make
when we
Jackson
walk
great
in.
again.
Make Jackson great
Right?
again.
Yeah.
Make sure you put your phones in a pile when you walk in.
I mean, but that's so serious though, man. Like you never saw a single phone in sight back then. It's just dance floor, everybody having a great time with their brothers. Now it's, these kids are too cool for school. They're gonna sit in the corner with their backpacks on and their hat backwards.
All right, hold on. First off, if you're wearing a backpack to a party, hold on.
Stop.
You gotta,
Let's touch on that.
like, before you leave the house, this is a good tip. If you're in college, maybe high school, it's fine. If you're in college, look, before you're leaving, all right, if you look in the mirror and there are 2 straps on your shoulders, you got to take those off, all right? You're not bringing that. What do you need? What do you got in there that's so important?
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think? There's going to be like some apocalypse and you got something in the bag where you're going to camp out? Like, what do you need a backpack for?
Yeah, I have all my living supplies in here. Right.
What, do you have supplies? What, are you playing a real life video game? What's up with backpacks at parties?
I don't know. It's a weird way. I mean, and the same thing goes for drawstring bags, man. Leave them at home.
No,
I'd rather have a backpack.
No, those are even. Look, if your squad's pulling up with drawstring bags and backpacks, I'm saying the backpack kids can stay and the drawstrings got to go.
Yeah, exactly. And if you're gonna wear a backpack inside my house, make sure it's a single strap.
Yeah,
be cool.
At least look badass. Yeah.
Yeah. We would bring backpacks, but we'd take them upstairs, drop them off, everything.
Throw them in the room.
If you're in the corner sitting there with your book bag on, man,
that's not part of your look.
Bring a Walmart bag and throw your beers in them, man. That's all we ask.
That's all we ask.
That's all we ask.
Look, man, don't be carrying that thing. It's not a part of your outfit. It doesn't look good, okay?
Right.
Maybe we're getting too old, but I don't know.
No, man, because I know for a fact life was way better back then. I'm telling you. I watched it as I grew. I mean, goddamn, I went to York for 6 years. Christ. I watched it as I grew older. Freshman year, parties were the best. Sophomore year, they were still amazing.
Right,
Junior year, still great.
Hold on.
Senior year, we just...
Let's be honest. Best year ever that never happened. My sophomore year, your senior year.
Yes.
Oh, my God.
Yeah,
that was gearing up. So that was 2019, or I guess.
Fall.
No. What am I talking about?
2020.
2020. So COVID year. We lived, like my whole grade, we were sophomores, and we like somehow finagled a system to get these like quote unquote off campus housing. They were still on campus, but they were close enough to off campus to like kind of be their own thing. And then he lived on Jackson, Jackson Street, and then we had 2 other houses basically on Jackson Street. Oh my God, I'm sure everyone said that year was awesome. Like any school anywhere, but I guess it was 2020 fall.
2020, yeah.
Unreal. Gearing up to be one of the greatest years of all time.
I guess that was 2019 fall.
Was it 2019 fall? 2019 fall, I think everyone can agree, was gearing up to be one of the best times of all time.
Yeah.
It's like certain times like 2016 summer. That was a good time.
That was crazy.
Great time.
Wow.
We didn't even know each other, but everyone's like, "Oh yeah, you're right. 2016 summer."
Yeah.
And then you're thinking 2019 fall. Everyone's like, "No, he's got a point." That
Right.
was unreal.
Yeah,
and
I think
spring
that's not
was
talked about. Yeah,
it was about to be unbelievable. It would have been unreal.
It would have been unreal.
But you know what? You know what's going to be better? 2025 winter.
2025 winter this year right here.
Yep, it's
Okay.
coming up.
I'm
January,
game.
February, big things are going to happen. You guys are going to be like, you heard it here first. 2025 winter will be like the 2016 summer and the 2019 fall.
Okay. I'm digging that. I'm digging
liking
that. Hey, that's the type of positivity I need in my life.
You need
that's
that.
What I need something to look forward to.
Power of visualization too.
Yep. Make
Say
it happen.
into existence.
Exactly.
The secret, baby.
Yeah.
I think this will be fun to play this game here.
Okay,
You ever play the blind rank game, or do you know what it is?
No.
All right. So the blind rank game, there's you rate like 1 being the best, 5 being the worst.
Oh, I've seen this. I've seen this. Oh,
I
yeah,
give
let's
you,
do it.
but you don't know. I just give you one name at a time.
Exactly.
All right. All right, so
Okay.
we're gonna go with NFL quarterbacks.
NFL quarterbacks.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And I'm gonna give you 5 names one at a time, and you
Okay.
rank them 1 through 5. 1 being the best, 5 being the worst.
Okay.
All right, and we're gonna see how you do at the end of it.
Okay.
All right, Drake May.
Wow, you're really doing this to me right now.
Gunner's a Patriots fan, by the way.
Hey, listen, man. I mean, no one else has started off like this since Dan Marino. So,
What do you mean he hasn't even played? He played like 2 games.
yeah, and he's got 5 touchdowns, 2
Okay.
interceptions. He's doing better than Patty Mahomes right now. I'll tell you that much.
Okay. So
All right,
you put him at 1 or
no,
what?
no. I'm gonna put him at 5.
Okay, great.
I got respect for the viewers. Okay, I'm not gonna be out here like RK saying the Commanders
Right.
were the #1 team back in 2018.
Yeah. All right. Lamar Jackson.
Man, he's having an MVP year, man. He really is. As much as people hate on him, man, that man, he is snapping this year.
He's good.
He's good.
He's good.
Whew. Man, I think I have to put him at 1.
You're putting him at 1?
I'm putting
Are you
Lamar
sure
at
about
1.
that?
I'm putting Lamar at 1.
All right. All right.
This is active quarterbacks, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Bryce Young.
God, I knew I should have waited. I knew I should have put May at 4. All right, we're gonna have to put Young at 4. God.
This is not looking good, but
This
I know
not good.
the list is looking fine so far. But
Okay.
all right, the last one, Jaden Daniels is your 3 then, right? Or no?
No, I haven't said anything.
Oh, Jaden Daniels.
Oh, man, Jaden Daniels is looking good. Injury, but
I
he's
only
gonna bounce
said
back.
4, my bad.
Yeah,
I
no,
messed
you're
up.
good. You're good.
Jaden Daniels.
Jaden Daniels, man, he looks good. He looks good. Gosh. Either in that 2 or 3 spot, that's tough because it really depends on who that 5th one is. I'm gonna go. I have a weird feeling somebody's gonna come up here, so I'm gonna put Daniels at 3.
All right,
I'm gonna put Daniel at 3.
So the last one's Bo Nix. So, so you got Lamar Jackson, Bo Nix, Jaden Daniels, Bryce Young, and then May.
Wow, that might be the worst list. Of
That's
all time.
not great.
That's not great.
I think if we were to redo that list,
let's do country artists or rappers or
you want to
something
do one
like
for
that.
me or you're
Oh yeah.
All right.
1000%.
All right,
Let's
you
do
want to
one.
do country artists?
You don't like country very much.
I like a couple.
You like a couple.
You know who I like?
Who?
Zach Bryan, Tyler Childers,
Okay.
Chris Stapleton, some of Luke Combs.
Oh, I love Luke Combs.
So maybe I don't know too many, but
Mhm.
that's pretty much it. All right, let's do
country artists. Oh wait, you don't know that many.
What about rappers?
Let's do rappers. Okay.
All right, you want to do it for me?
I'm gonna do it for you.
All right.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So, all right, we're gonna go rappers. Now, some of these we're gonna mix in a little bit of R&B artists here too.
Okay. Are they current?
No, we're gonna
All
go
time?
all time.
Oh wow.
We're gonna
this
go
is
all time.
It's gonna
Yeah,
be difficult for me.
yeah. I know exactly who you like and who you don't.
You're right.
I remember
you're right.
this.
Yeah, you're right.
But we're gonna start off with a banger here. It's gonna put you in a very tough spot.
Okay.
We're gonna go Akon.
Oh man, this is a weird one because if we're talking like party music, Akon's great, but if we're talking like best of all time, he's not even in there. So I'm gonna go Akon 4.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah, I'm going Akon 4.
Akon makes my Mount Rushmore, dude.
What?
I love Akon.
What Mason Ramsey's in your Mount Rushmore too? What else is in there? I mean,
No, honestly, Mount Rushmore would go Lil Wayne.
Yep.
Would go Lil Wayne.
Yep.
T-Pain. Akon.
That's crazy.
Akon
That's
and
crazy.
Timbaland.
That's wild. Timbaland, okay, respect.
Love
but
Timbaland. Okay, so we're gonna go. We're gonna
Akon's
go.
4. I'm locking
Akon's
that in.
at
Akon
4.
at 4.
Okay, we're gonna go Snoop Dogg.
Snoop Dogg, very solid 2.
Very solid 2.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So now we're gonna go Meek Mill.
Ooh, Meek Mill. Cheek Mill or Meek Mill?
Oh, don't you?
That's the
Don't
problem.
you go there
That's
with
the
me.
problem. That
Don't
kind of
you-
changed it up on me.
I knew I
The-
should have left Diddy out of
All the
this.
Diddy stuff kind of changed my outlook on Meek Mill. But
Right.
in terms of music, I think I'll put him at 3.
Okay.
I'll put him at 3.
Okay. So you have 1 and 5 left.
1 and 5.
So we're gonna make this
You're
really
gonna,
hard.
Don't
for
make
you.
them both horrible.
No, I'm not. I'm gonna do Biggie Smalls.
Oh. For the sake of just people blindly saying Biggie's the GOAT when I think he's great, he's just not the undisputed GOAT at all. The only reason people say that is because everyone else says it. Let's be completely honest.
Right.
Biggie's a great rapper. He's got a great flow. I love his music. It's great to vibe out to, but he's just not the undisputed number one of all time. I'm going to throw him. I don't want to do this, but I have a feeling the next one's going to be one of my favorites. So I'm going to go throwing him at 5.
Okay. And then you got Pocket 1. I'm kidding.
Who's one? Wait, who?
No, I was saying Tupac, but I was just
Pac?
kidding. Yeah.
Oh, Pac?
No.
I mean, I'd be okay with that list.
Last one. You could probably guess who I'm probably going to get.
I don't know.
Eminem.
Oh, God. I hate this list. I would have put him at 5, dude. I do not like Eminem. I've never liked Eminem.
Okay.
I'll stand by that. I've never liked Eminem.
Okay.
All right, so if I were to redo that list,
Right. Okay.
I would do Snoop at 1.
Okay.
I'd do Biggie at 2. I'd do Meek Mill at 3, so he's staying.
Okay.
Akon at 4 and M at 5.
Okay.
That'd be my list if that was the case. But
Okay.
my undisputed GOAT is Kendrick Lamar.
Oh, really?
And my number 2.
I was thinking about putting Drake there last.
God.
Yeah, don't even
He
get me
would've been
started.
5.
Don't even get me started.
K-Dot is my undisputed GOAT. A very close battle is Kanye. Love Kanye.
Love Kanye. Loved him as a child growing up.
Same.
Oh my God. Yeah, my undisputed GOAT, man, is definitely Wayne, man. Lil Wayne.
Wayne's. So if we're talking Mount Rushmore, I'd have Kanye, Kendrick, Lil Wayne, and then there's one more. I would do who would I do at 4?
Man, it's never really like a bad choice to go with like any of the. I mean, Rick Ross. You know.
Yeah, but as a top, he's
right.
a good artist.
He was a great artist for a long time.
I think I'm stuck. You know who I liked a lot is A$AP Rocky.
Yeah.
I used
Rocky
to love
was great.
Rocky.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, he was great. His flow is unreal. I'm gonna go, but I love J. Cole too.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna put Rocky. I'm gonna put A$AP Rakim over him. So my Mount Rushmore is Kendrick Lamar. Who was the second one?
Kendrick Lamar, Lil Wayne,
A$AP Rocky, and Kanye.
Kanye.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
I respect that list.
All right. I mean, I don't know. I had some more of that game, but we don't have to do that game.
Right.
I gotta go to the bathroom real quick. Take like 5. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Touch on it. We can get into serious. We can get into funny. Whatever you want to do.
Yeah, we'll see where it goes.
Yeah.
All right, and we're back. Sorry for that brief interruption, but we're good. We're back. Yeah, we can move on from that game, but here's like when I would sit and think and just start journaling and stuff. I want to go through a few thoughts and kind of touch on them and see if you have any insight. What you think about them, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so here's a thought I had, and this goes with like the marketing thing.
Okay.
So, if the only way to learn is by repetition, which, by the way, that's the only way to learn.
Experience.
Repetition.
Yep.
In school, you read something and you take a test on it, and then you forget it. Only the things that you over and over and over work over and over.
1000%.
Those are the things you learn.
Yep.
So the only way to learn is by repetition. Repetition. So get that through at first, right?
Yep.
So if the only way to learn is by repetition, then the only way to teach your customers about your product is by repetition.
Mm-hmm.
This is why when someone buys a commercial ad, they don't just play it one time. The best commercials are the ones that play over and over and over again. I think this is also why people say to post consistently on social media. This keeps ideas that your brand are selling in the front of their mind and teaches them to understand you.
Yep.
So the more you hammer what you're talking about over and over to your customers, the more it's going to be at the front of their mind, and the more they're going to buy in to what you're selling or what you're saying.
1000%.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
And just like, you just need to realize that repetition is the only way to learn.
Yep.
And once you learn that.
Yeah, and a lot of the repetition is by doing it yourself.
Yeah.
1000%. Have someone to guide you. I will swear up and down on YouTube,
Yeah.
YouTube.
Yep.
I graduated from YouTube University.
Same here.
I mean,
and I still am graduating. I probably will.
I'll
never graduate.
Yeah, I've never actually. I'm wrong. Maybe I got a little degree in YouTube University, but
Yeah.
I'm still going. I'm trying to get my doctorate.
You can get 1,000,000 degrees.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And man, I probably clocked in over, probably 50 hours this month alone, just in October, of YouTube tutorials, especially with video editing. But in terms of advertising and repetition, I'm very contradictory on ads.
Yeah.
So the reason I say this is two things, and this can go off on a different topic, but yes, repetition is good. If you want your product to stand out, you got to spend more. You have to spend money on ads. If you want your product to be seen more, you have to spend the money on ads. If you have a low budget for ads, your product is gets seen by a handful of people, but what if those people aren't in your target market? What if they aren't your audience?
Right.
So it comes from a lot of trial and error. 1,000% it comes from trial and error. You're going to learn what sticks and what doesn't, what is going to get the engagement and what won't. And you do that by repetition and experience, know. And then once you get that one thing that goes viral, that catches, now you need to start basing your whole persona off it, and you have to create an aesthetic around it. Yeah. You know what I mean? This has to be you now.
Right.
This is what got you viral.
Yeah.
This is what got you, publicity. This is what got your product taken off. This is exactly what you want to spend money on now. Yeah. So ads and advertisements, you have to dump money in there for repetition. And if that's how you want your consumer to learn about your product, posting social media, yes, you got to be 3 to 4 times a week. But, at the same time, do you want, and my boss, John, who's one of the greatest men I've ever met in the entire world, he has a very unique way of saying this. He says social media is a seed, is a plant seed, right? You go to Home Depot, you get a seed. Social media is a seed. You stick it in a flower pot, right? And you watch it grow over time. You watch it grow your brand over time, but it takes watering. It takes a bunch of tools and utensils. Ads, for example, are buying already a full-grown plant at the store.
Gotcha.
So that's a great way to look at it. It's one of the best things he's ever taught me. It's so true, man. If you're going to spend your money on ads, your stuff is already grown. More people are seeing it. But if you want the homegrown and everything, and it's going to take a while, man. It could take years of experience and learning and repetition. But Yeah.
No, I think, and we were talking about this earlier before we had the cameras on, but I was saying there needs to be a word for failure that doesn't mean total failure.
Right.
Because whatever that word is, you kind of want to seek that out when you're trying something new. You want as many of those little failures as you can. You want as many as possible because those are learning experiences. But if you just call that failure, then you can look at it like, man, I'm a failure. I failed 200 times when I started this podcast. I didn't have a good lighting setup. I was shooting off an iPhone. I was, there's certain things I didn't know, and the audio didn't sound good. The video didn't look great, and I still is probably not perfect. But these are little failures that if I was just like, well, it's going to suck, and I just accepted that, again, going back to the attitude thing, and just accepted that and had a horrible attitude, then, I would just think I'm a failure. But if you're like, no, I want more of those little failures so I can learn from them.
Right.
And it's just that repetition of doing something over and over and over. You get more comfortable doing something, and you're just able to, do it more efficiently and effectively.
1,000%, man. I mean, I'm still failing to this day. I'm still failing.
Probably will my whole entire life have little failures in everything I do. I hope. Right. I hope I do.
Right.
I hope I do.
And then you just have to look at them as small wins, maybe not the wins you pat yourself on the back for, but it's just, I think it's a ignition to, okay, now it's time to lock in. I see what I did wrong. I know what I can do to be better at this, what to fix for the next time. Yeah. But there's a gap here where you learn from YouTube University, going back to that. Yeah. You learn, your next step. This didn't look right. What can I do to fix it? You know? Right. So that you have to look at them as wins. If you hold yourself down on it, it'll hang over you, and you'll never get any better.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. Let's see. Oh, I already talked about the bad news thing, how people are addicted to bad news.
What about, I mean, this is crazy, and I know you have topic lists there, but what about this topic is so amusing to me, and it's something that I could touch on, is going into business with your friends.
Interesting. Very interesting.
Stay away from it.
Here's what I'll say.
Stay away from it.
You need someone with the same mindset as you, which is very hard to find. And you also, your personalities need to mesh well. And if that's not a thing, then, it's probably not. You need someone to, every relationship, either friendship, business relationship, if you're talking about actual, relationship with a girl or something, it's, there's like a give and take. And that give and take needs to be there at all times.
1,000%.
So you need to be able to, kind of check this person, get them in line. They need to be able to do it to you. And kind of, that's how relationships work. Yeah. If you have a friend that, you guys are friends, but you never really get into anything like substantial, you're kind of just there hanging out and stuff. And you try to go into business with them. And then you realize, well, I don't like the way they did that, but I don't know how
Our visions are different.
Yeah, like, how do I express that? And then you guys just end up bickering. I would stay away from it because in the end of the day, yeah, it turns into resentment and you maybe having a bad attitude toward them, and you just don't need that. I would advise against getting into business with your friends unless there's someone who you've thoroughly thought this out.
Right. 1,000%. I think that you can learn how grimy people really are.
Yeah.
You can really learn how grimy people really are, and then on like going off of that, my last point is you develop friends through business. Keep them at your business friends, right?
Yep.
You can develop friends through business,
yep,
but do not bring your friends prior to business into business. That's what I'll say about it. I've always found it interesting because I see so many relationships fall out. I've had relationships fall out because of friends. We didn't match visions, and it is what it is. And now it's it sucks because you lose contact with that person and everything else. But I think.
We got
as we said, background noises.
Sorry for the background noise. I don't know if you guys heard that. There's a madman yelling at the top of his lungs over there.
Yeah.
I don't know what is going on.
Other known as Brett Locker.
His name might be Brett Locker.
His name might be Brett Locker.
Yeah, Brett Locker might be yelling in the background.
just showing up and hanging out.
Yeah, he's been watching this the whole time like a weirdo. Hold on, I gotta get this real quick just so you guys know. Just so you guys know, the whole entire time we've been doing this podcast, so we got the setup here.
Can I come on camera?
The whole entire time, this guy,
Brett, come on.
This guy has been watching this podcast. So I'm glad that you're here, Brett. I'm glad you're here.
I'm officially a part of the camera, part of the crew. I mean, you were saying you had 3 mics earlier, but
Do you want me
share?
to get you
Let's
on?
share.
All right. I
Let's share.
Won't be here. I won't be here too long. I'll share with Gunnar. It's been a minute since we were talking.
Yeah, good to have you here.
Great topics going on here. Love the last one I heard was the don't do business with friends. Mixed opinion on that. I'm 100% for you, but
my bad.
I'm also like on the same side as Maddie. Like, you got to have a vision before, and you got to discuss, and you got to make sure you're a right fit. But it also depends on what you're doing. There's different levels of what you're doing and how you can, help your friends versus how you're gonna, make money off your friends. Those are 2 completely different things. If you're trying to get in business to make money off your friends instead of helping your friends, then you're in it for the wrong reasons and you're going to lose a lot of friends. So you got to figure out what you're doing and make sure that you guys are on the same page before you sign any contracts, cross any T's, dot any I's. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
A lot of it comes down to passion.
Yep.
Are they as passionate?
Yeah.
One
thing
we need the third mic.
One thing that is actually important about that, though, like you said, contracts. You can't just because they're your friends, just be like, oh, we can wing it. We don't have to do the formal contract.
Put it on paper.
You need
Trust
to.
me.
You actually need
Put
to.
it on paper.
Yeah. You need to treat it professionally, and it might feel like, well, why am I doing this? This is my friend. Well, for both of your guys' sake and for peace of mind, you got to do it.
We know in this economy, finances are almost everything.
Yeah.
It's a fact. It's a fact.
It is a fact.
You gotta take care of your money.
You gotta take care of your money. Right?
Brett, we were talking about before this health.
Thanks.
And you're looking great.
Health, yeah.
Fantastic.
Health
Thanks,
and
guys.
wellness.
Biggest supporters are your friends. That's what I gotta say. So
yeah.
you gotta find good friends that stick around and are gonna help you out. So the biggest thing is just taking something that happens. You guys were also talking about the little mistakes.
Yeah.
And you were like, we need a name for that. And then I was standing over there because I was watching the whole time.
No, you were watching the whole. This guy was here watching like a creep.
Clearly, the whole time I was watching. But no, like you literally said it. You were like, we need another word for this, and then you said it. You're like, I like to call it learning experience. I was like, that's exactly what it is. Like, life's gonna throw these things at you, and I don't want to get all deep, but life's gonna throw these things at you, and you got to figure out, how am I going to respond to this? Like, I have this event that comes. How are you going to respond to it? You could take it and you could do nothing with it, and you could just let it bother you for, weeks and months and just let it sit with you and hang around and affect your whole mood and affect who you are. Or you can take it and use it as fuel and motivation. So, you could use it towards work. You can use it towards anything you really want, or anything that you want to see a future self of.
Yeah.
So what I did was I took it and, I used it as a learning experience. And, I started going to the gym a lot more. I started running. I've ran like over 100 miles in the last month.
Dude,
yeah.
So
awesome.
Just, getting after it, doing my thing. And that's what running helps the mind and the body, and so does exercise. Once you start working out and you get on a routine, your body just wants to get, like, when you work out, you get dopamine released in your brain. You want to have that. And once you get on a routine, and consistency just pays off, and you start seeing the benefits that you do, and get into that future self that you've always envisioned and wanted yourself. So using those learning experiences and those little failures, you can't take them as losses and just let them compile and feel down about yourself. You have to take them and use them in the opposite direction as fuel and learning experience and motivation. So that's what it's all about. And taking care of the person in the mirror is what's going on at the end of the day. So
that's exactly what I was going to say. The biggest gut check you could ever have is looking yourself in the mirror. Especially if you're talking about health, take your shirt off in the mirror, take a picture, use it as motivation. Use a shirt that used to fit you, use that as motivation. I really do. That was like some of the biggest conversations I've had to have myself. 2 years ago, I went through like a little breakup thing, and I really fell off, the cart, and got up to like 198, 200, and then I was super depressed and everything, and I dropped down to 162. But I was skin and bones, but I was the most confident I've ever been in front of a mirror. I've ever been in taking my shirt off in a wife beater,
Right.
It's just
typical Gunnar.
Has to wear the wife beater, yeah.
But yeah,
typical white.
Guys always
in a
All
bandana,
you do is wear bandanas and white beaters, buddy. Don't act like there's anything
a couple
different.
times in the trailer park over there.
Spit in your chew. How y'all doing?
Yeah, I
Gunnar
can.
Reynolds.
A lot of people tell me in Ocean City I have a country accent.
Really?
Sometimes it like really comes out. I wouldn't say so. I think it's just Cecil Tucky Elk Neck in me. You know what I mean? It's bound to happen.
Yeah. What I was gonna say is we're talking about breakups, anything bad in life, and this happens to everyone, right? Everyone either breaks up with someone, gets broken up with, and it's like you lose someone you really care about, like not physically, but you kind of do physically lose them. Mentally, you lose them. You might have thought that was the one, and you're going through that. But what you need to do is you need to look for silver lining, and it's hard when you're emotionally captured by it in the moment to look for that. But if you can just take a second, and it's okay to be emotionally involved in it and, sulk on it for a little bit and just reflect and everything. But if you take a step back and technically look at the situation at hand and say, how is this going to get me better than if I did this? And how is this situation what good can come out of this? Because every single situation, good can come out of every situation. The worst things ever to happen, good has come out of every single thing. Any heinous crime that's ever happened, any horrible breakup, horrible death in the family or something, it's called silver lining. It's not called gold lining. It's not the best.
Right.
But there's silver, you know? There's something that you can find that's good. Yeah, gold would be that was still there.
Right, yeah.
That situation
They
was
can
still
come
there.
back.
Oh, that'd be great. But there's something there. There's some good. And if you just keep thinking about the bad and, man, I suck, and you keep telling yourself this horrible attitude, what's going to happen is it's just going to infect you, and you're just going to go down a horrible, horrible hole. And like I was telling Brett off camera too, I was like, you're looking great. And he's like, yeah, like, if I kept going down like a bad road, I would have been somewhere where I didn't want to be, like mentally, physically, and everything.
I was on Gunnar's path a little bit. I definitely put on some LBs, and I noticed it, and I just looked at where I wanted to see myself, and that's the goal I set. Like you were just talking about, everything that happens, first of all, everything happens for a reason, big believer in that. And it presents you with an opportunity. So it's, how are you going to respond to this opportunity? You could, take it and, just keep going downhill the way you were. Or you could take it and, change yourself into the person that you want to be. So it's all about how you respond to what life throws at you, because it's not going to prepare you for what it is. You plan and God laughs is what they say.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and
That's
I
a great
mean,
point.
that's the point of life, is to go through these hardships and these struggles. And, here's a quote that I like a lot that I always say, and I try to tell people, but maybe I'm saying it in the wrong setting. I'm telling people out at a bar, and they don't understand what I'm talking about. You should hear the conversations I have. I'm just
I've
giving
heard a
all these
couple.
Yeah.
motivational speeches at bars, and they're like, dude, I'm just trying to listen to this music.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're saying. But waking up every morning with this thought: how do I feel now that my dream is fulfilled? Everyone is living, if not their dream that they thought when they were however years old, when you're 7, you're like, man, one day I'm gonna like have a house, or like I'm gonna play college sports. I'm gonna just have great relationships with my family. One day I'm gonna do this. One day I'm gonna have a job that pays good money. Like you're living your dream, but for some reason you wake up and you immediately compare yourself to other people, and you're like, man, you're looking for the bad. Like we said, seeking out bad news. You need to start with, my dream is fulfilled. How do I feel? Because here's why. When you actually get to fulfill the dream that you're saying now, in 2 years, if you don't have the thought process that your dream is already fulfilled and it's just going to keep getting fulfilled, then once you do fulfill your dream, you're going to, again, compare yourself to whoever else. Man, if only I had this. If only I had that. And it's that attitude thing. If you just get yourself on a positive vibration, good attitude, and you feel, my dream's fulfilled, but there's always room for improvement.
Yeah.
It's just a great place to be. Now I'm going to tell everyone at the bars tonight.
Yeah.
He's gonna have Andy Elliott playing.
Crazy thing to talk about with someone at a bar.
You know, it's
He's got
hilarious.
an earpiece with
He's
Andy
like-
Elliott in his ear.
Hey, what's your name? Let's talk about life and what I want to do.
I'm not even kidding you guys. Last week in New York, I'm not kidding. I was saying it to one lovely lady, and I'm telling her all of this, and her friends are like, hey, we're gonna go. I'm like, well, before you guys go, hold on, give me 1 second of your time. And I start saying it to them, and one of the friends was like, look, dude, are you trying to sell us something, or what's going on? And I was like, no, I swear I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to tell you guys, do you ever wake up and think, how do I feel now that your dream is fulfilled? And they're like, dude, you gotta stop saying that. We're leaving the bar. Do you have anything else to add? And I was like, that was it. I hope you guys have a great night.
Andy, it didn't work.
Thank you, Andy.
Yeah, thank you, Andy Elliott.
I don't even like Andy Elliott.
Yeah, me
Pick
neither.
up in the bar as you start talking to people about, what their beliefs are and everything like that, and then they're like, I'm leaving. I'm done. I can't deal with this guy. You're like, bartender. I'm
Yep.
next." There you go.
Okay. Here's a skit for you guys. If we're touching on the motivational bit, this is gonna be a skit for both of you.
All right.
Right now, I want you guys just to raise your hands. Just raise your hands. Now raise it higher. Why didn't you give it 100% the first time?
That's deep. That's deep. That's deep. It's a metaphor.
Yeah. I mean,
For you guys at home, he doesn't physically mean like, why couldn't we go higher the first time? It's a metaphor.
And some people, you know, will take the easy way out of that and say, because raising it halfway got the job done. But is the learning experience and everything else the same? The path, the route, is that the same? No, I don't think so.
But yeah, like, do you want to just do it halfway so you get the job done?
Right.
Or do you want to do it to the best of your ability and you want to, well, first of all, that's interesting because obviously, as Maddie's point, if someone asks you to raise your hand, you're not immediately 100% extending your
I do
arm
every single
up as
time.
far. Well, not the last time, so
Well,
there you go.
I
Busted.
knew where he was going. I
Oh,
already
yeah,
knew
true.
that.
You wanted to prove Gunner's
I
point.
heard that
was
point.
off camera.
I got
you guys
my
talked
boy.
about that.
Come on now. I got
Off
his
camera,
back.
you guys talked about
we
that. I
talked about
forgot.
that.
You said we're gonna have a segment where I'm gonna tell you to raise your arm as high as you can. And you got to do it like 70%.
I knew it.
I didn't know.
You'll
I
see.
just
Run it back. You'll see. I only put it up very.
True,
like,
yeah, it wasn't
Yeah.
70%,
I knew
but
you guys were going to do that.
yeah, no, that's a good, yeah.
trying to act all cool.
Gunnar knows. Gunnar knows. We've been in a couple classes with Gunnar. He knows we only raise our hand like
Have we been in
like
a couple?
the cool kids.
I've never had a class with
I
Gunnar.
We're-
had a couple classes with Brad.
Really?
Yeah, I've had.
I don't know if that's true, actually.
Brother, I ain't never had one class.
I don't think I ever had a class with you, Gunnar.
I keep forgetting you guys weren't computer engineers.
You were doing
True,
pre-med.
true.
We
You had
were
the
doing
pre-med
business,
computer
that's what it
engineer
was.
class.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Well,
Computer
I lasted.
engineers. Yeah, right.
I think I
buddy.
lasted a whopping 2 weeks in computer engineering, and then Childs, man, he got me in 7 gym classes my freshman year.
You're like Alabama football players, bro.
You took more gym classes than anyone at York. They're like, dude, you gotta stop taking. They're 1 credit. What are you doing?
My counselor, well, they were cohort classes, so they were like 0.5.
Oh,
My
God.
counselor.
Maybe it took you 8 years to graduate college. Maybe that's why.
Hey,
you're
I got
taking-
my master's. Did you
Yeah,
get your master's?
Yeah, no, I didn't.
Exactly.
Yeah, what are you doing with
So
it?
essentially, I'm using it.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Got it in digital
I'm
advertising.
kidding, dude. I'm kidding. Relax. No, I'm just kidding. But
Oh my God, that's funny. But no, yeah, they were. My counselors would look at my upcoming schedule and say, "Well, you don't need to take any electives. You got this out of the way pretty early." So I'm like,
year 1, you took year 1.
I'm like, no, please.
Yeah, please let me
All
take
right.
you.
You're an elective major?
Oh,
Oh
you're
my
trying
God.
to be a gym teacher?
Yeah.
No, not exactly.
Oh man. Well,
But
you got any more topics you want to discuss that we haven't talked about?
man, I think this was a great podcast. Definitely check his stuff out, his podcast. He's got his hands in a bunch of things. Mancuso Designs. You need any woodwork done, any tables done, check his page out. He'll get the job done for you. Big fan of yours, Maddie. Always have been.
Thanks, Gunnar.
One of the funniest people I've ever met, and it's kind of funny. Us 3 sitting here, we, used to be like a little gang, and we're missing the other stooge.
We're missing a
I
couple
guess.
boys.
Yeah, we're missing the other stooge.
We got to do a round table with just
Right.
the boys at
Yeah.
some point. Yeah,
The stooges for sure.
Just chop it up. But
Yeah, man. I'm very, very thankful to be on here. Voice my opinions about some stuff. Can't wait for the next one. I like the rooftop setup.
yeah, it's nice.
Honestly, you should segment it into one every out of 4 podcasts so people start to look forward to it on social
I like
media.
it. I like it. Yeah.
Rooftop segment.
Yeah.
Sponsored by Mamitas.
My meats.
Mamitas. You never see the
Oh.
Barstool Sports?
Nah.
Sunday Conversation with Caleb Presley.
Oh yeah, I don't
Oh,
really
yeah.
watch those. But
Oh, I love
yeah.
Caleb Presley. Yeah,
Really? He's funny.
So funny.
He's funny.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah, man, I think it's great. Fix your attitudes. Get off the iPads. Get off the phones. Live your life and get out there. Get experience. Stop crying to mommy and daddy. Figure stuff out on your own. And just grow some tough skin because life is gonna slap you in the face, and you better be ready for it. And if you're not ready for it, you have to have the willpower and the mindset to come back, snap yourself back out of it, and lock in, get ready for the next day. And I'll end it with that. Maddie, Brett, anything?
Before, sorry.
Yeah, sorry, I don't want to cut you off.
I was
Real
gonna say
quick.
I got one more final question
Well,
to
can
Gunnar
I-
before.
I
Yeah,
was
you go
just
ahead.
gonna say
Go ahead.
I'm gonna close out I don't have anything to say besides what Gunnar just said. He hit the nail on the head. You guys can ask your last question. I'm going to head out. We got some more stories to create tonight that are going to be told on the Cujo show. So
Great point.
I'm going to get a head start on that. Thanks for letting me pop in at the end, fellas.
And
you guys got it. All right.
brother.
Good podcast.
Yep.
Thanks for letting me watch in the background the whole time.
He's been creeping in the background.
All right, B-Lock.
Thanks for coming, bro.
I'll see you soon.
Yeah, just before we end this, I like to ask my guests one last question. Well, first, anything you want to... Well, I'll ask that after this. When you pass away from this life, what is something that you want to be remembered for?
Oh, man, that's
Like,
deep.
how do you want to be remembered?
I want to
And
be
you can
remembered.
take a second if you want.
You know, I think it would be okay right now if I passed, to be honest. I think I would be happy enough with myself if I passed right now.
But how do you want to be remembered? Like, if they said he was A, or, you know,
Obviously,
great at this, or a great whatever.
the ego and the confidence wants me to say sports. That's what I want to say, but that's not what I'm going to be remembered for, obviously. So many tremendous athletes out there, but I think it'll be that I touched the hearts of many just with my smile and with my outgoing attitude. You know, I feel like the best thing you do, especially in sales, marketing, and everything, is light up a room. You know, you got to come in high energy. Even if you're an introvert, you got to put on a fake smile. You have to have a mask, right? They didn't care who I was until I put on the mask. You know what I mean? So, you know, it kind of goes back in, you know, you have to be yourself, but you have to be able to form different realities of yourself, you know, to touch the hearts of many, to touch people, to leave impacts. First impressions are so important in this life. So, you know, I meet somebody, I want to be remembered, you know, I got to say something funny. Always known to be kind of a funny character, as well as my friend Maddie here. I think that's something, you know, putting smiles on people's faces and impacting them to kind of be a better human. And it's something that I preach to my lacrosse kids at Stephen Decatur. You know, shout out Hoffy and my Stephen Decatur kids. But, you know, ethics and morals are so important. Yes, sir. No, ma'am. Look them in the eyes. Shake their hands. You know, thank your mom and dad. In this life right now, growing up when I was a kid, when we were teenagers growing up, loving your mom and dad was like, you know, you didn't want to show that all that much. But I'm telling you, man, there ain't no better feeling in the world than loving your mom and dad, loving your family. You know, you should take great pride in it. You know, girls find it extremely attractive nowadays. You know,
And if they don't, you're looking at the wrong girls.
If they don't, you are looking at the wrong girls.
They're not the
Dealt with
girls
too
you
many
want.
of those. You know, you're looking at the wrong girls. Yes, you know, smiles attract. You know, light up a room. First impressions. Yep.
Great. Well, that's awesome, man. Well, yeah, thanks for coming on. Again, Gunnar Reynolds, just a good guy. All-around good guy.
Appreciate that.
He's always got a good energy, great attitude, just someone you want around, you know? And I think that's how I know you. So, you know, like kind of, you know, how you'll probably be remembered, light up a room, and just you're always bringing that good energy, good vibes. Like, you're never someone you don't want to have around, you know? You always bring that positive energy, which
Find
is
the light
super
in the dark.
important. Exactly.
You know?
Yeah. Well, great. Anything you want to promote, or what do you got going on?
No, I mean, nothing much. You know, if you need your websites done, or if you need any camera work done, any videos, you know, just let me know. Bop on over to Gray Media or my Lil Wallace 34 page, point you in the right direction. You know, shout out to, you know, my best friends. You know, obviously they know who they are. Snake, Bailey, Jordan, Steve, Ryan, you know, all the good ones. Yeah, shout out my homie Snake. You know, he's got some great things going right now in the microgreens community and the greens community, and, you know, the food industry.
He's expanding.
He's a different breed, man. He's
Yep.
someone, you know, that we were talking about earlier, has a crazy aesthetic, and he can rock, man. He's creative. Great. I turn to him for a lot of ideas, and, you know, I love that guy to death. So yeah, shout out to Snake. But yeah, man, that's
sweet.
That's it. Promote friendships.
Well, Gunnar, thanks for coming, man. Thought that was great. And guys, hope you liked this episode. Stay tuned. I'm gonna have some good guests, throwing some crazy ideas out there. Might get a squeegee boy. Might get some crazy guests in the future.
Squeegee
boy. Guys, trust me. They're only getting up from here. Leave your hate comments below if you want to hate. If you want to love, because there's just a lot of love to give this guy, then you can love too. Either or works, though, guys. Thanks for watching.
Yep.
Good stuff, man.
Have Maddie have me back on the Cujo show.
Yeah, maybe we'll do it another time.